So it's just looking at collectors like that pretty much had eyes on certain pieces before everyone had eyes on it. I kind of respect individuals like that.
Everybody thought they were too much. The attitude on a Rainbow Daytona when they first came out was yuck. Who would do that? Who would go so far? And something happened that's brilliant.
What was the history during that time?
It's the only one we know of, and we have papers for it, that was issued to the Iranian army in 1971. And it was...
Are some of you guys stressed out, frustrated, and annoyed with the current watch market, or pretty much how the watch market has been for the past 3-4 years? Guys, if you're feeling this way, stick around and come take a walk with me as I help you understand what helped me throughout my watch collecting journey. So guys, give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into this video. So first, I must mention that in watch collecting, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. Guys, we all make mistakes. I don't know a watch collector today that haven't made a mistake that they've regret in their watch collecting journey. Whether it's overpaying for a timepiece, whether it's selling a timepiece too soon, whether it's not selling the timepiece at all. Guys, we all experience it. So during tough times like these, where the watch or the watches that we purchased at the top of the market is pretty much maybe 30% less, or sometimes more, 50%. What is something that you could do to make yourself feel better? What I've done, guys, is watched and rewatched Hodinkee talking watches. Now you guys might be like, really, Clyde, you built this one up and such a silly remedy. But trust me, guys, it's not silly as you guys think. I've watched and rewatched these episodes of Hodinkee talking watches. It's almost reignite my passion and my love for timepieces. And just hearing the stories of some of these watch collectors is just inspiring. Some collectors like John Goldberger, he's been watch collecting for years. His watch collection is heavy with Cartier, Rolex, Patek.
And what do you specialize in primarily?
Patek, Rolex, Cartier, Longines, Omega, other small brand chronograph.
Watches that you really have to work to find.
Yeah, it's very hard to find very nice watches in a great condition.
So would you say part of the fun in collecting watches is trying to find them, or is it more about owning the watches?
More exciting to find it. Those I don't know where the
vintage pieces that some of us have never seen and will never see. You know, one of ones, one of tens. This guy has written books on watches. So it just shows you how deep he is when it comes to timepieces and his love and his passion. He talks about his timepieces as though he was part of the team in building and engineering these watches. These guys talk about the timepieces, not just on a surface level, but they go deep.
So could you tell us about the movements of some of these?
stainless steel back with the reference.
So this is a Valjoux with a
55 BBR. You see the Rolex name on it. They made 12 pieces and known are 8. There are still 4 unknown.
So they're somewhere out there.
Somewhere.
They go into the design of the timepiece. They go into the movement. Why back then they used this certain part in a timepiece. Things like that. And that is what I enjoy about Talking Watches on Hodinkee. Another collector on Talking Watches that really stood out to me is John Mayer. As you guys know, he had 2 episodes, 2 amazing episodes where he showed his collection from IWC to vintage Rolex to some high pieces as well. But overall, his collection is so diverse.
If you're a watch lover, sometimes the blue book value doesn't matter. This is the original Cousteau diver's watch. I'm attached to it. I put it on every time I go on vacation and I'm in the water. And
he also was one of those people that purchased the Rainbow Daytona before it became the Rainbow Daytona that was trending and popular.
You don't quite know who the target audience is if you're just looking at the aesthetic. You could imagine, you know, but there is something about them that when people see in person, they all kind of give in and go, yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it. And when these first came out, everybody thought they were too much. The attitude on a Rainbow Daytona when they first came out was yuck. Who would do that? Who would go so far? And something happened that's brilliant.
So it's just looking at collectors like that pretty much had eyes on certain pieces before everyone had eyes on it. I kind of respect individuals like that who are pretty much, they have the foresight to see what will become great. Not that that was the reason why he purchased it. He purchased it pretty much because he loved it, but just seeing that, wow, this was a timepiece that no one loved back then, but he picked it up because he loved it. And look now, some of his timepieces are really trending and became the hyped watches. I want you guys to comment below which Talking Watches episode was your favorite. It could be one or two. Just comment down below which Talking Watches was your favorite. There's also collectors like William Messina that I also appreciated his watch collecting and his journey. It's just the story behind the pieces that they collect I just enjoy.
Longines to Sins, you've worked at auction houses, you've been advisors, you even owned a store at one point. What do you think is different about the watch industry today relative to 10 years ago and 20 years ago?
I think today it's becoming more of a fashion show. Every year we have to come up with something new. It's becoming more style over substance. Prices have exploded. Most people now talk more about the money than the watches. You show them a watch, it's like, how much does it cost versus what does it do?
From owning watch stores, for being part of some auctions, that just shows how deep they are. And the last collector that I'm going to mention that stood out to me is Reza Ali. Guys, his collection of dive watches are crazy. He pretty much has all the subs, the deep sea, the sea dwellers, and yearly he has them.
And so this is also the prototypical Comex style right here.
It is. It's the 5513. And funny enough, I choose this one over the 5514 because the 5513 was such an enigmatic reference number. The first Comex logo dials were 5513s. The first sword-handed military submariners were 5513s. And of course, James Bond had a 5513 and it had a magnet function on it.
And he could just explain to you why he purchased this specific one. What was the history during that time?
It's the only one we know of, and we have papers for it, that was issued to the Iranian army in 1971. And it was quite an anomaly at the time when I bought it. I thought, why did the Iranian army get it? And of course, with a bit of research, one can actually place this watch. The Marine Special Forces were trained by the SBS, who this watch was essentially created for during the Shah's reign. And in 1973, Sultan Qaboos had inherited the communist Marxist uprising, invited the Iranian army in to help him fight this threat. And so the Iranian army invaded in 1973. This watch was issued in 1974. The insurgency was defeated in 75. So it puts it bang in the middle where
also watching some of these guys help you to not feel crazy. It makes you see that, wow, there's really crazy people out there when it comes to collecting watches with how many pieces they have. But what we should focus more on is not just, wow, these amazing, expensive, high value watches and pieces, is that what Talking Watches shows us is the story behind each piece, the story of why this person collected this, where they collected it, what it made them feel when they were purchasing it, how do they feel currently when they wear this timepiece, what's their daily timepieces. Talking Watches is something that I believe should stay. I wish they would put out way more episodes than they do. They've kind of slowed down, and I think they'll pick up once, the watch market picks up. And it's not just the stories that captures me and gets me tuned in to some of these Talking Watches episodes, but it's also the technical knowledge that some of these collectors have. Guys, you could learn a great amount by some of these collectors and what they know of these timepieces historically, but also, like I said, technically on these movements and designs, and the designer who really, made the case and made the movement. So guys, like I mentioned midpoint in my video, I want you guys to comment below which Hodinkee Talking Watches episode is your favorite. You could just mention one, or you can mention two. So for you guys who have never seen a Talking Watches episode, guys, go check it out. I'm gonna link one in the description box below, so you guys could go check out one of those episodes, and you guys will definitely enjoy it. As I mentioned, like it helped me in reigniting my passion for timepieces, I believe that it will do the same for you guys, especially during times like we are right now, where the watch market, kind of corrected. The pieces that we purchased maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago have lost their value. But we need to understand, guys, that it's the love for the timepiece and not the monetary value we should put our focus on. So guys, thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for the next video.